In Exodus 9, there's a continuation of this story between Moses and Pharaoh. There's this back and forth. Several plagues have already happened to the Egyptians, and several more are coming in this chapter. And every time the plague happens and then Pharaoh pleads with Moses, please pray to God and have this removed, and I'll let you go into the desert and worship your God. And there's this moment in the conversation in chapter 9, verses 29 and 30, where it says this. This is Moses talking to Pharaoh. He says, all right, Moses replied, as soon as I leave the city, I will lift my hands and pray to the Lord. Then the thunder and hail will stop, and you will know that the earth belongs to the Lord. Check this out, verse 30. But I know that you and your officials still do not fear the Lord God. And it's just really interesting to me as I was reading that, Moses recognized that his job in this interaction is to be obedient. His job, what God has sent him to do, is not to rescue the Israelites. God's going to rescue the Israelites. He has sent Moses to be his spokesperson, to speak on his behalf, and he simply asks for obedience. And so in this moment where Pharaoh has clearly shown he is not going to play ball, right? He is not going to relent. He is not going to give in, even though he consistently has asked, hey, Moses, could you pray? Ask God to remove this plague, and then I'll let you do what you have asked to do. He's just using it as a leveraging chip. And Moses knows this, that it's just a leveraging moment, a bargaining chip, and yet Moses chooses to obey. And as I was reading this, I was thinking about, man, there are a lot of times where it would be easy for me, and even sometimes I do this, that I look at other people and I judge them based on what I see from their behavior. And then I want to play God, and I want to be the one that steps in and says, hey, you don't deserve this because you are still not convinced that God is who he says that he is. Your actions are proving that you are not aligning in heading the direction you need to head in response to what God has done and how he's revealed himself. And I want to put myself in the position of playing God. But what God is asking is for our obedience. What he's asking is for us to engage with people, but to let him be God. Let him be the one who judges. Let him be the one who rescues. That's his job. Our job is simply to be a representative. So what does it look like for you today? Maybe to take a step back and not be the one who says, hey, you don't actually mean that. You're not actually serious, and judge people based on their behaviors. What does it look like to take a step back, make today count, and say, man, I'm just going to be a representative of Christ today and see what happens.